What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about defensive lineman QuonGraham. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your continued support. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you would like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So in today's video, as I mentioned, I do want to talk about defensive lineman QuonGraham, and could QuonGraham be one of the next great defensive linemen for our Atlanta Falcons? QuonGraham is a defensive lineman, a defensive tackle slash defensive end. He goes about 6'4", 300 pounds. And to me, he's been one of those players that's been a bright spot for our Atlanta Falcons. And I definitely think that the sky is the limit for him. I do think that he's a player that has a high ceiling, and he could end up being one of the next great defensive linemen for the Atlanta Falcons. Brian Baldinger does great breakdowns for NFL breakdowns, and he's been breaking down QuonGraham and Grady Jarrett tape pretty much this whole season. And he's stating that QuonGraham is one of those guys that is really leaping off the film when he watches him. And to me, QuonGraham is one of those guys that's really impressed me in his first 2 seasons in the league. Even though he's not putting up big sack numbers and not getting a ton of tackles for loss, to me, he's one of those guys that reminds me of a former Falcons legend. And he also wore the number 95 as well, in Jonathan Babineau. When I watch QuonGraham play, he reminds me of Jonathan Babineau, who played for our Atlanta Falcons for 12 seasons. He played all of his NFL career with our Atlanta Falcons. He was one of those foundational pieces for our Atlanta Falcons. Didn't have a bunch of accolades when Jonathan Babineau was in the NFL, but he was one of the guys that did a lot of the dirty work. He was one of the better defensive tackles in the game when he played for our Atlanta Falcons. So I definitely think that QuonGraham could have a really bright future. I do think he could possibly be the next great Atlanta Falcons defensive tackle slash defensive end, or defensive lineman. He plays mainly inside. Really, they've been playing him like at the defensive tackle in the 3-tech position, right next to Grady Jarrett. He could possibly be the guy that we've been, missing when I say we need to get a partner up front for Grady Jarrett. This year, he's been that guy that they've been using next to Grady Jarrett, and he's been one of those guys that is really close with Grady Jarrett. From what Grady Jarrett says, him and QuonGraham are really close on and off the field, because those guys are in meeting rooms together because they play pretty much the same position. And he says that they hang out a lot during the offseason. They hung out a lot. So I definitely think that QuonGraham is doing a good job of soaking in the knowledge that he's receiving from one of the greatest defensive tackles in the game, and Grady Jarrett. And I definitely think that that knowledge and that effort that he plays with, similar to a Grady Jarrett, where he doesn't give up on plays, I definitely think that that could bode well for a guy like QuonGraham. And I definitely think he could possibly be, one of the next great defensive linemen for our Atlanta Falcons. Pairing him with Grady Jarrett, I definitely think that those guys are going to continue to wreak havoc on opposing offensive lines. But I'm definitely, like I said, been really intrigued by QuonGraham. I didn't know a whole lot about him when we drafted him out of Texas last season. But to me, he's been one of those guys ever since he came out in the draft that's kind of flashed on film. And he's one of those guys that I definitely think could possibly have a really solid NFL career and could be one of the next great players on this defensive line. So with that being said, you guys let me know what you think of QuonGraham. Do you think he possibly has a chance to be one of the next great defensive linemen for our Atlanta Falcons? I definitely think that if he continues to follow in Grady Jarrett's footsteps, he could be one of those guys that could be a future Pro Bowler, could be one of those guys that has a really solid career and be similar to a guy like a Jonathan Babineau who played for the Falcons and was one of the better Falcons for a very long time. So with that being said, this been your boy Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.